Creating videos requires a lot of hard work. I request you to please make sure to subscribe to the channel.
Welcome to Stoic Wisdom, where ancient insights find their place in today's world. Here we dive into the timeless principles of Stoicism to help you cultivate peace, purpose, and resilience amidst life's chaos. Let's set out on this journey of personal growth and inner fortitude together. People often say silence is golden, but what if I told you that silence holds an extraordinary power? It can erode even the toughest egos and break down the walls people construct around themselves. Silently, brick by brick, in a world that shouts to be heard, where voices clash endlessly, there's an understated strength in choosing silence and holding back words. This isn't just a tactic for navigating disagreements, it's a deeply Stoic practice that reaches into the core of who we are. Today, we're exploring Stoicism's ancient wisdom, where silence isn't merely a lack of sound, but a profound means of inner change and reclaiming peace. Stick with me, as what you're about to discover could transform how you perceive yourself in the world. Before we dive in, if you find value in this message, consider sharing it with someone who may benefit. And if you appreciate what we're doing here, the simplest way to support us is to hit subscribe. Every moment of this video is crafted to deepen your understanding of the silent strength you possess, so watch till the end. Picture yourself stepping into a lively public square in ancient Rome, where debates are not only about sharing ideas, but are spectacles of sharp wit and skillful arguments. In the middle of this noise and intensity stands a Stoic philosopher, a calm presence amidst the chaos. Instead of joining in, he chooses a different route. He remains silent. This isn't passivity, but a conscious choice, expressing the Stoic conviction that sometimes silence speaks louder than words. The Stoics, who prize inner tranquility and reasoned thought, believed not every challenge deserved reply. By holding his silence, the philosopher shows strength, not weakness. He reminds us that we have the power to stay steady and unshaken by the emotional storms of arguments. Let's bring this concept of silence into our everyday lives. Think about those moments when disagreements arise at a tense work meeting, a discussion with a partner, or even a heated exchange online. Imagine if, instead of reacting immediately or letting the situation escalate, we chose to pause, hold back, and take a moment to reflect. This pause isn't about avoiding the issue, it's about creating space for clarity and calm, allowing everyone involved to cool down and engage with a steadier mind. Using silence as the tool in moments of conflict can reshape our relationships. It changes the dynamic from confrontation to contemplation, urging everyone to think not just about what to say next, but about the potential impact of those words. Silence can help break the cycle of reactive exchanges that often make things worse. This isn't about avoiding necessary conversations or holding back important feelings. It's about thoughtfully choosing when not to engage. When we integrate silence into our interactions, we create a more mindful, respectful, and effective way of communicating. We come to realize that silence isn't empty. It can be filled with intention and purpose. It's a timeless lesson from the Stoics. Sometimes, the most meaningful message is the peace we convey in the words we don't say. Imagine yourself at a silent retreat, surrounded by nature, far from the constant noise of daily life. Perhaps you're nestled in a dense forest, or by a tranquil lake, where the only sounds are the soft rustling of leaves and the occasional bird sound. In this quiet setting, the absence of external noise opens the door to a unique form of introspection. Silence becomes a path to profound personal insight and growth. The Stoics understood this, advocating for moments of silence to cultivate inner calm and mental clarity, qualities that build resilience and wisdom. This practice isn't about hiding from the chaos of the outside world, it's about exploring the depths of the inner self. In these quiet moments, you confront your thoughts without distraction, filtering through the noise of everyday responsibilities to focus on deeper questions. What do I truly desire? What fears hold me back? How can I live with greater purpose? In the clarity of silence, these questions can rise to the surface, revealing answers you might otherwise miss. Regular periods of silent reflection help you build a buffer against the stress and distractions of daily life, leading to greater emotional stability and improved interactions with others. When you cultivate inner peace, you can stay calm and centered even in challenging situations. Silence can also nurture a proactive form of wisdom, one that allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. For the Stoics, wisdom wasn't about accumulating knowledge, it was about maintaining inner tranquility. By making silence a habit, you train yourself to face life's challenges with a poised, intentional approach. Picture two friends locked in a heated discussion over a controversial topic. As the exchange grows more intense, one of them, who practices Stoicism, chooses to remain silent. This intentional silence doesn't go unnoticed. It serves as a mirror. The friend, now uninterrupted, begins to hear his own words more clearly, to sense the tone and intensity of his own voice. This moment of silence creates a space for self-reflection, allowing him to recognize the limitations and perhaps the extremes in his own arguments. It's a transformative pause, not just in the conversation, but in the awareness it brings. Silence in this way becomes an active force. It offers speakers a rare opportunity to hear themselves fully, to examine their own tone and reconsider their words. Through silence, they can confront their own thoughts and behaviors, creating room for understanding and growth. This scenario highlights a vital point. When we choose silence, we're not merely holding back our words, we're creating a reflective space that allows others to confront their own thoughts and biases more clearly. This can lead to moments of self-realization, unexpected and often profound. The silence acts as a mirror, but it's an active one, inviting those in the conversation to fill the void left by our quietness. What do they see in this space? Do they feel frustrated, or does it align them? The answers can reshape dynamics and foster more mindful exchanges in the future. Incorporating intentional moments of silence into our interactions can be a powerful tool for both personal and relational growth. It encourages both speakers and listeners to engage more deeply with each other and with themselves. Next time you're in a spirited debate or a challenging discussion, consider what might happen if you respond with thoughtful silence. Could this silence create an opening for understanding or give all involved a chance to reconsider their stance? By actively embracing silence, we open doors to new levels of connection and insight in our noisy world. While silence is often praised for its strengths and strategic use, it comes with complexities. If not handled carefully, silence can lead to misunderstandings or even resentment. Imagine two friends where one's prolonged silence is misinterpreted as indifference rather than as respect for space or contemplation. This example illustrates the delicate balance required to use silence effectively in relationships. Silence, when misapplied, can be a void filled by the other person's anxieties, assumptions, or insecurities. In the case of these friends, one might have intended silence as a pause for reflection or a respectful break, but without clear communication, the other sees it as a lack of concern. Over time, this gap can widen, fueling doubts and straining the relationship, eventually bringing it to a crossroads with unspoken grievances and misunderstandings. This underscores the importance of timing and context when choosing silence. It's not merely the absence of speech, but a subtle form of communication that needs to be as deliberate and thoughtful as spoken words. Knowing when to remain silent is as essential as knowing when to speak. For instance, choosing silence in a heated argument can demonstrate self-control and respect, giving everyone time to cool off, but remaining silent when someone needs support or when a critical issue requires discussion can create distance and harm the relationship. The effectiveness of silence must be complemented by empathy and clear communication. Silence, when used mindfully, has the power to enhance understanding and nurture growth, but without careful attention to its impact, it can just as easily sow confusion and alienation. It's crucial to ensure that our quiet moments are not perceived as emotional withdrawal but as intentional pauses. This might involve preempting a period of silence with a phrase like, "I need a moment to think this through, let's revisit this conversation tomorrow." Alternatively, you could acknowledge the silence afterward to clarify your thoughts and intentions. Thank you for tuning in to Stoic Wisdom, where timeless teachings meet the complexities of modern life. Here we explore how Stoic principles can bring us peace, purpose, and resilience amid the chaos around us. Let's embark on a journey of self-growth and strength. They say silence is golden, but what if silence held the power to dissolve egos and dismantle the walls people build around themselves brick by brick, without a single word, in a world where everyone is competing to be heard, where voices clash like swords? There's hidden power in restraint and choosing silence over engagement. This isn't just a strategy for avoiding conflicts, it's a Stoic practice that delves into the core of who we are. Today we'll dive into the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, where silence is more than the absence of sound. It's a profound tool for inner transformation and reclaiming peace. Stay with us as this insight might shift how you perceive yourself in the world. If this video speaks to you, please share it with someone who might also find it valuable. Your support means everything, so if you appreciate our efforts, simply subscribe to join our journey together. Picture a busy public square in ancient Rome. The air is charged with debates, not just to exchange ideas, but as performances of wit and verbal skill. Among the swirling crowd stands a Stoic philosopher, calm and collected. Instead of joining the fray, he chooses to remain silent. His silence isn't passive, it's a deliberate choice, a powerful Stoic statement. By holding back his words, he shows that not every provocation demands a response. He exemplifies strength, choosing not to be swept up by the emotional waves of argument. Let's bring this practice into our lives. Think of those everyday disputes, whether in a team meeting or at home with a loved one. Imagine if, instead of jumping to respond, you took a pause for reflection. This silence isn't about avoidance, but about creating a moment of clarity. It gives everyone a chance to step back and approach the issue with composure. Embracing silence in conflicts can transform relationships. It changes the dynamic from reaction to reflection, allowing all parties to consider the impact of their words. The Stoics taught that silence is not empty, but filled with purpose and potential. It can break the cycle of emotional reactions that often intensify conflicts. This approach isn't about avoiding important discussions, but choosing our timing and tone with intention. By integrating silence into our interactions, we foster a respectful, thoughtful way of communicating and come to realize that silence, too, can speak volumes. Imagine being in a place of solitude, perhaps a quiet forest or by a calm lakeside. The absence of constant noise creates a unique space for introspection. The Stoics recognize the power of silence to promote inner peace and clarity, key tools for resilience and wisdom. These moments are not about escaping the world, but connecting deeply with ourselves. In these quiet reflections, we gain a buffer against daily stress, enhancing both our mental well-being and our interactions. Silence can also cultivate a proactive kind of wisdom. Stoicism teaches that the wise are not those who know all answers, but those who can maintain calm and clarity. By making silence a regular part of your life, you train yourself to respond thoughtfully to challenges. Imagine a heated discussion between two friends over a divisive topic. One friend, practicing Stoic restraint, decides to stay silent, allowing the other to hear his own words without interruption. This silence acts as a mirror, inviting self-reflection. It's not just a pause in the conversation, but a chance for the other person to realize the gaps or extremes in their arguments. When we stay silent, we create a space for others to confront their own ideas more deeply. This can lead to moments of profound self-realization and often transforms conversations. Silence challenges both the speaker and the listener to engage more thoughtfully, fostering understanding and connection. However, silence must be used thoughtfully. Without clarity, silence can sometimes be misinterpreted as indifference. Picture two friends where one's prolonged silence is taken as a lack of care. This shows the need for balance. Silence isn't just the absence of speech, it's a form of communication requiring careful timing and context. Knowing when to remain silent is as crucial as knowing when to speak. For instance, silence during a heated moment can demonstrate respect, while silence during a friend's time of need may create distance. Mindful silence enhances understanding and nurtures growth, but without intentional use, it can sow confusion. To ensure your silence is constructive, try prefacing a period of quiet with, "I need a moment to process, let's revisit this later," or acknowledge the silence afterward to clarify your intentions. Being intentional with silence deepens our connections and builds mutual respect. Mastering silence isn't just about when not to speak, it's about weaving quiet reflection into daily life to reduce stress, increase self-awareness, and enhance mindfulness. By embracing silence, we transform ordinary moments into opportunities for growth. Following the Stoic path of self-mastery, one of the simplest practices is to introduce daily periods of silence. You might start with a few minutes of meditation each morning or taking silent breaks during the day. This practice of quietude cultivates a mindful presence, allowing your responses to be more thoughtful and aligned with your values. Over time, regular reflection builds emotional intelligence and a deeper sense of self-awareness. Silence becomes a tool for peace, grounding you amid life's noise and challenges. Thank you for exploring the profound practice of silence through the lens of Stoicism. Remember, silence is more than a pause, it's a pathway to inner peace and self-awareness. If this resonates, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to continue exploring these insights. Today's quiet moments can be the foundation for tomorrow's growth.